What is up, guys? Technical Stinkers here, checking in on our little 3D print operation for the day. If you're new to the channel, uninitiated or unfamiliar, I do 3D printing here at home, things to fix stuff around the house, improve things in my life, sell stuff on the internet, and just have a good time. If you're interested in any of those things, be sure to subscribe to the channel. So what have I got going on today? Well, quick little vlog today, but there's sufficient stuff to kind of highlight and keep the process moving forward. So most of the printers are quiet, but we are heavy into our print for the fancy architectural firm in the big city. So we finished off the main piece of this mold, and we're starting in on the side pieces here. PETG heavily coated the bed of the Orangestorm Giga with glue stick because last time that we did it, we didn't put anything on there and it was stuck really bad. We had the same issue on the Cobras with the PEI sheets with the PETG. So coated it heavily with glue stick, popped off like a dream, B-roll. Gonna do a dedicated content on that because that's a good thumbnail and title. I 3D printed a thing for like a proper company and made a bunch of money. I didn't make a bunch of money, but you know, that's the idea here. So we're going in on that, want to deliver that to them as quickly as possible. Over here, we're approaching sort of the end of this spool of PETG on the Infinity Flow S1. So I thought, hey, great opportunity to snip it and, you know, watch it pick up live, just kind of like a live demonstration, in an actual in the field switch over from the filament. Because I just like maybe, I mean, I can see the core in there. There's not really that much in there, so, you know, I'll be wasting all of, you know, 25 cents, 50 cents worth of PETG, so makes sense to, let's just go ahead and do this live. There's no car in here. I've been tracking the wife. She's almost back, and I don't want her to interrupt me while I'm filming this video. Oh, she's pulling in now, so I'm gonna have to wait, so let's wait here. Anyone else track their spouse? And right on cue. I hope she brought me coffee this time, though. Hey! Anyway, live filament swap out here of the PETG. We got our coffee, we got our Starbucks. All right, see here, we got our little yellow light, so it's like ready to go, green light, active spool, simulating live spool run out. Bam. All right, we'll throw this in the ocean. You guys watch that while I get another spool of PETG out. Should be seeing the switch here soon. It's taking a little longer because this print's moving kind of slow and the printer's currently doing support base. So it's a lot of movement and not a lot of printing. And there it goes. So kicks the next spool. The other light turns red. We load up our next spoolio. Spoolio. Not every word needs to be modified here. We load this in until our light turns. There we go. All right, so we're ready to fly. That'll keep moving. That's another, you know, golly, many hours worth of printing. So we're good to go here. Let's see what we got going on in the office. My voice changed. I'm going through puberty. All right, so we got another Hornet nest to ship out. It's Sunday morning, but I like to go and throw these in the little bin. That's another benefit of these 10-10-10 boxes because I think it's probably got to be nationally standardized. The little bin at the post office that you can put packages in. You have to walk inside. But these fit. You can fit something a little bit bigger than a 10-10-10, but that's great because I go out at least probably once a day, so I don't like waiting and, you know, collecting them and then putting them all out. We've got Satan here. Satan's going to the store, so I'm going to take him and drop him off at the warehouse, and then they can pose him in a store or something like that. Maybe someone will want it. I'd have to do a cost calculation on Satan here, but I don't think it's really all that much. I mean, you know, maybe $100 or something like that. But if they, you know, someone wants to buy that for $100 in the store, then boy howdy, you know, that's cool because I was able to get some content out of it. Here is the bottom section of that thing that I'm printing for the architectural firm. So this came out really nice. Now I did this heavy infill and they were talking about it because it's a mold. They wanted some flexibility and that's why they chose PETG for its flexibility. Now, I'm not sure where that flexibility benefit really comes into play when you print it at, this is just 50% per fentanyl, 50% infill, and this thing is a brick, dude. I asked them if they wanted it at 100%, and they're like, nah, and I'm like, I don't know, mold. 50% is adequate in my view. I am going to communicate to them that they might want to coat the inside with something, because if they put concrete or any kind of masonry product or anything like that in there, it's going to stick pretty bad, and it's not going to lift out. So they probably want to spray it with some like silicone mold release or something like that. You know, and that's on them. You know, I'm just a dumb gopher printing the thing for them. But it came out really nice. The bottom, you know, a little glue residue from the Giga. Printing it in the middle, I think, was a smart choice, so I could, you know, easily remove the plates. But it lifted off great. Sunlu PET G, basic PET G, working great. So, and you know, there's no clear spot where the filament change occurred because, you know, running the Infinity Flow S1. So really happy with how this came out. Man, I'm telling you, it's a brick. It looks like is it a manhole cover? I'm trying to figure out what this thing is, but that's a super classified top secret. That's not on me. All right, now time for something a little exciting. So we got to go in the building for this. All right, probably have to talk a little louder in here because it's hot. The heat dome is in place, and I got all my fans running, my exhaust fans up there, my big fan up there, my floor fan. So I'm out here in my building, and this is maybe something to sell on Etsy, I don't know. But me, when a boy becomes a man, he must make a choice. You either get into smoking meat or learning about World War II history, and you got to choose one of those. There's also another path you have to follow. You have to choose which house you belong to in the power tool departments. And there are 5 houses. You got the Milwaukee guys, which are elitist weekend warriors that have too much money. You have Ryobi guys who have no money. You have Makita guys who had money in 1992. You have Festool guys who have way too much money and never use the tool. Or you are the elite, cream of the crop, super practical yet super, I mean, DeWalt. I'm a DeWalt guy. That's what I'm getting at here. So I got a whole bunch of DeWalt tools, and recently I was at Lowe's, and they had a special where if you buy 2 overpriced batteries, you get a free tool. And I really wanted a hammer drill, a cordless hammer drill, because mine, I don't like having to drag that extension cord. So I got me a little hammer, oh, it's heavy, hammer drill. And I usually keep all my DeWalt stuff here on the top of my cabinet with my chargers and whatnot. But I got to thinking, you know, like Mountain Maker and all these other guys, just one of the most commonly 3D printed things are mounts for the various types of tools. So I started looking around, and I've 3D printed one, and I've been testing it for heat because the building gets very hot in the summer. And if I'm 3D printing these, I'll probably end up doing them in PET G. But even still, if it gets really, really hot in here, these tools are heavy. It might cause it to warp and snap, and I don't want that to happen. I've also been thinking about where to put them. So I'm running this test over here with my circular saw. I've got one of these printed. This is just PLA, so is this one. And I just got it screwed into the wall there, and I put that on there. This has been in here for about 2 days, and it's gotten decently hot inside. And I can tell that there is some warping because it's starting to slide off a little bit. But overall, it's doing a decent job holding it into place. I can't put it here because it's over the table. I'd have to reach to get my tools. I'm not doing that. Thought about over here on the wall to my mining room, which is now just my electronics supply closet. That's too far away from like the bits and the chargers and the other tools and things like that. So my thinking is this rack here. So this is a U-line. It's called a gravity shelf. It holds these U-line bins. I've got literally thousands of these at the warehouse in all different shapes and sizes. So this is a nice little rolling rack. What's wrong with my voice today? So it's good because you can like put these wherever you want them. I desperately need to organize this, but I figured I could put all the bins on one side with all the screws and miscellaneous parts. And then I could take all my tools and 3D print this in a way that locks in to this gravity shelf, because it's all these little clip. The only problem I foresee is that if I go to take the tool, my voice is just going to do this the rest of the time, I guess. The only problem I see is when I go to take the tool off, I'm going to be lifting it up, and there's no way for me to lock it in. Well, I guess that kind of works. Huh. Idiot. This is just me making a sketch off phone. Put it here. Pictures from my phone of how big those clips are. So they come out about 1/8 of an inch, and then there's like a 1.25 inch separation between the clips. So I put this together to see if this will work as a clip that can lock into this shelf, and then this I can put onto the DeWalt hanger. So this is a live test. I haven't tried this yet. This just finished. When I looked at my watch earlier in the video, that was the print telling me it had finished. All right, so obviously I'm stupid. I've got to find a way to like be able to lock it in. So I got to shave off some of that. And yeah, it's way too short. So I was trying to make a barb here at the bottom that kind of barbs into this lower one while this one clips on. So need to do some modification there, but my thinking is if I can make a small barb that locks in, it'll be locked in, and that way if I pull it out or up or down or whatever direction, it will stay on the board, because I don't want to be lifting this tool off and then the mount come with it, and then I gotta like, it's just not, I want it to stay on here. So obviously I need to make some modifications to that, or I don't want to drill into this thing. I don't want to like damage this thing because then I get rusty and all that kind of stuff. But overall, I think this is going to be a good solution, especially in Pet G. I also thought about using some more engineering grade materials. I still have some of that nylon carbon, are those Hornets? Still got some of that nylon carbon fiber. Is it ADD brain yet? Well, I know it can't be a Hornet because I have a fake Hornet nest up there. And those surely will keep the Hornets away. But that's what's going on in 3D print land for today. Of these things, what do you think is the most interesting? What do you think has the most promise? Do the crowd pleasery type things like the DeWalt hangers and stuff like that, I just see those things constantly everywhere. It's a very common 3D print. And so a lot of times those very common 3D prints, I don't even think to bother with them because it's like, well, who's gonna wanna see that? You know, everyone else has done it. But there's a larger base of people that want to see that kind of thing. And so, you know, maybe I should do it. And then, hell, maybe I should do it because I actually need some of those things. So let me know if that's of interest to you, or if any of the other things, the design of the bracket, if that's of interest, or the mold thing. I think that's it. I'm going to showcase that because that's just too interesting. That's what's going on in my world today. Let me know what's going on in yours. Be sure to like the video because it's a nice thing to do, and subscribe for more content like this. I'm the Technicals. See you next time.